Well, Keir Starmer. Looks like you have been exposed.
For his sexuality. They are to do with his past and what the shape of his family really looks like. But it feels to me as if there is some kind of, not necessarily scandal.
Recent surveys reveal that Starmer's approval numbers have crashed to a mere 22%, placing him among the least favoured Labour leaders in decades. But what caused this dramatic fall? The root of the issue lies within a tangled mess of deception, contradictions, and concealed motives that we're about to unravel. Prepare yourself for the unfiltered truth about Labour's collapsing icon. Starmer's ascent to the leadership of Labour was nothing short of explosive. He surged to the top powered by lofty promises and a deliberately curated image of reliability. Yet over time, the sheen on this immaculate persona began to fade. Starmer crafted his public identity around his background as a barrister, portraying himself as a figure of honour, a dependable decision-maker committed to leading with fairness. That projection struck a chord with voters exhausted by political games and hollow pledges. But his approach to LGBT issues has also raised eyebrows. Critics accuse him of sending mixed signals, publicly championing inclusivity while quietly backpedaling on key reforms.
He shouldn't have done that, but I don't know. I don't think Keir Starmer even knows this. I have to assume, this is my theory, I think he just put out a thing saying that, oh, this is what people like, and he do it. See, here's the thing. When it comes to inclusivity, there's another word for it. Exclusion. How do you become inclusive, but you exclude other people? Let's continue forward.
Consistencies have left both activists and traditionalists questioning where he truly stands on matters of equality. Some within his own party have reportedly expressed frustration over his unwillingness to take a firm stance, seeing it as a calculated move to avoid alienating certain voter blocs. Even LGBT advocacy groups, once supportive of his platform, are now voicing disappointment over what they view as performative gestures rather than meaningful action.
Labour have met with the LGBT, lesbian, gay and bisexual alliance, and that has pissed off the T element for trans, LMNOPQRST, because the LGBT element of LGB says that LGB aren't pro-T enough. I know, me neither.
But as his tenure progressed, fractures started to show. His position on pivotal topics appeared to bend with whichever way the political winds blew. Take Brexit, for example. First, he championed a second referendum, only to later pivot toward honouring the original result. This back and forth baffled and disappointed many of his followers. An even more glaring inconsistency surfaced in his supposed dedication to party unity. Starmer pledged to heal Labour's divisions, yet his actions often deepened the rifts.
I think Starmer doesn't even know what he's doing. I think he's just trying to play both sides, which it's failing. Congratulations, mate. I don't think you're not going to win anybody, and your moronic take is going to cost you dearly, and the people's not going to listen to you.
His actions often deepened the rifts. His handling of Jeremy Corbyn's suspension was especially explosive, pushing away those on the left while still failing to appease his critics on the right. These mixed signals didn't slip by unnoticed. Public confidence in Starmer has been steadily dissolving, with more and more voters doubting whether he truly believes in anything beyond sheer political convenience. The once carefully moulded image of a leader guided by principle has deteriorated into that of a career politician willing to say whatever benefits him at the ballot box. And yet, these contradictions could merely scratch the surface.
I think that was the definition of a tyrant because remember, it benefits him better. He doesn't care about the average people, he cares about himself. And sooner or later, people have caught on to this. No amount of police is going to stop you. Or in this case, no amount of police is going to protect you from this kind of issues. Dear Starmer, seriously, what on earth are you doing? I have no idea. You just short-circuited my brain.
Merely scratched the surface. Westminster has been buzzing with whispers of far darker secrets lurking in Starmer's past. What skeletons lie buried? What truths is he desperately shielding from the public eye? One bombshell recently broke through the silence, sending shockwaves across the political scene. Starmer was exposed for accepting undisclosed hospitality tickets worth roughly $4,000. This revelation ripped apart his carefully managed portrayal of integrity and transparency. The fallout is profound, raising press.
Wait, $4,000? That's a lot of dough. Jesus, what the hell are you keeping, Starmer? Wonder what else he's got. I mean, if this got exposed, if there's more of it, people is now going in open revolt, which frankly, people are now doing it. Well, it's not exactly a revolt yet. They're protesting. And there seems to be winning. Guess what? The UK government and Keir Starmer are forced to back down when they try to get an Apple's approval for a backdoor encryption. Yes, they backed down.
Pressing questions about his judgment and his dedication to ethical standards. If he's prepared to quietly pocket gifts of this scale, what else might he be concealing? And as we dig further into his history and current dealings, the picture only grows murkier.
There is some gigantic, super embarrassing favour that has been done, which we don't know about, but it feels to me as if there is some kind of, not necessarily scandal, whether there is something going on within the Starmer family, which, you know, they're entitled to their privacy. I don't know what it would be.
A tangled network of deception and hidden truths is beginning to surface. The man who once vowed to rebuild public faith in politics now stands engulfed in a swelling tide of scandal. What further disclosures could come to light as we strip away the layers of Starmer's meticulously engineered persona? As he scrambles to contain the fallout from his unreported hospitality gifts, a darker and far more ominous current flows beneath Westminster. Quiet murmurs of long-standing open secrets tied to Starmer's past have been spreading for months, suggesting bombshell revelations that could obliterate his political future.
I wonder what that is. There's the thing that he called putting his head in the sand, or putting your head in the sand. Yes, that kind of thing works, but you have to know you can't keep putting your head in the sand forever. Because sooner or later, the pressure is going to mount, and Keir Starmer will have to face the harsh reality. He has to be transparent about these reports, about his past. You can't hide them forever.
Whispers extend well beyond typical political blunders, reaching into the shadowy depths of his private world and provoking troubling questions about the man behind the carefully staged public image. Among these whispers are provocative hints about his connections to influential LGBT circles. Some commentators suggest his public gestures of support mask a far more complex and potentially compromising set of relationships. Party insiders have reportedly expressed unease over the undisclosed nature of these associations. Others even speculate that these ties may play a role in shaping his political calculations in ways the public has yet to fully grasp.
If your son turns out to be gay, there's a difference between your son turning out to be gay and being 7 or 8 years old and having it forced in his head that he can be anything he wants, yeah? And if boys are boys, girls are girls, yeah? And a child at the age of 8 and 9 does not need to be sexualised or having these discussions.
This balancing act has managed to alienate both traditionalist voters, who see it as a betrayal of their values, and minority groups, who view his actions as hollow and insincere.
Wow, imagine that. Seriously, this is how DEI works. You keep virtue signaling, and look what happened. People, the minority group, such as the LGBTQ and all that, they feel hatred. No, they are being hated even more because of this kind of moronic thing. Every LGBTQ, which I know some of my viewers here who are from America, who is also either a supporter of the LGBTQ community or a part of them, you hate it when companies virtue signaling to your cause, thus making your community even more hated.
Speculation surrounding Starmer's personal dealings has spiraled, with well-placed insiders hinting at skeletons so damaging they could make the hospitality scandal seem trivial in comparison. His determined attempts to bury these matters have only intensified the intrigue, stoking public curiosity to dangerous levels. Every effort to seize control of the story and silence inquiries has spectacularly backfired, leaving him projecting an unmistakable aura of panic.
It's called congratulations, Keir Starmer. You played yourself. What, you think silencing people is going to help? I mean, how many times we've seen in the past when you censor somebody, it backfires? I'm certain some of you remember Quantum TV era, how many people got censored. And recently, which I'm gonna say this again, there was an issue from JTech TV. He tried to false copyright strike another creator called Klutz King. Reason is because he accused him of stealing. He didn't steal. Klutz King didn't steal it, okay? It was transformative. JTech TV doesn't care. If it's his, he is accusing you of stealing.
Press appearance and interview.
Keir Starmer's private life, and they certainly aren't to do with any kind of doubts over his sexuality. And it wouldn't be fair to go any further than that, but this is an open secret at West. They are to do with his past and what the shape of his family really looks like.
Enter Isabel Oakeshott, a determined investigative reporter who has made it her personal crusade to drag the truth into the light. Oakeshott's unyielding hunt for answers about Starmer's hidden history has forced the Labour leader onto the back foot. Her digging has exposed a tangled web of associations and potential conflicts of interest that Starmer appears desperate to keep out of public view. The harder he works to shield these secrets, the louder the questions grow about his credibility and suitability for high office.
And sooner or later, it's going to reach King Charles. Because if King Charles sees this, I don't know if King Charles is going to see this, but by some miracle he does. I hope the king and the monarchs sack him. This is really getting out of control. He just betrayed the English people. Hopefully he does. Hopefully the king sees this.
Even beyond his personal affairs, Starmer's political positions have been cloaked in ambiguity. His carefully worded statements on the EU have left voters unsure whether he truly supports deeper alignment or simply panders to whichever audience he faces. On immigration, his rhetoric shifts between empathy and strict control, sparking accusations that he's more interested in optics than principles. This pattern of calculated vagueness extends across numerous policies, feeding the perception that his true convictions remain deliberately hidden.
You know what we're going to do?
Okay, before that, let me tell you this. In my country, just I believe it was 2 days ago, if my memory serves me correctly. You know what? I'm going to show you something. Let me show you something. No, there was one I don't remember where I've seen it. No, not that one. Sorry, that's taking a long time. Basically, there was a raid in one of my district. Says that 3,000 immigrants have been arrested, or in this case detained, and 1,000 of those immigrants have just been deported, sent home.
That his true convictions remain deliberately hidden.
You know what we're going to do? We're going to sign back up to Europol, not Interpol, no, Europol, the EU's own police force, and we will take our share of asylum seekers crossing the Mediterranean, coming in to the European Union. We'll be signing up for the EU refugee programme, something we weren't even in as members of the European Union. And given that yesterday 6,800 people...
Public anger over his persistent lack of openness is now reaching a breaking point. People who once regarded him as a rare beacon of integrity in a swamp of political deception are beginning to doubt every word that leaves his mouth. The irony is impossible to ignore. A former director of public prosecutions, cloaked in secrecy over his own affairs, delivering the exact opposite of the transparency he vowed to bring.
Public prosecution, huh? Yeah, you don't trust them. That's what happens when you trust them. This is the results. So, what's gonna take for Keir Starmer to accept the harsh reality? Wonder what it is. Let's see it.
Reigns of Labour. Yet, the most shocking revelation may still be on the horizon. Oakeshot's investigation has pointed toward a potentially explosive link between Starmer's most closely guarded secret and the figure known as Lord Ali. The precise nature of this connection remains shrouded in mystery for now.
And they relate in some way to Lord Ali and to his family. Exactly what his secret is, but he sure as hell has got one or more secrets.
But the consequences of this connection could be immense. Could this be the missing piece that explains Starmer's persistent refusal to come clean? According to multiple whispers within Westminster, Lord Ali's relationship with Starmer stretches far beyond casual acquaintance. Party insiders claim that the two share a long and complicated history involving private meetings, discreet consultations, and favours that have never seen the light of day. Some even go as far as to allege that Starmer's meteoric rise within Labour was not achieved on merit alone.
Wow, shocking. It was not by merit. Of course it is. It wasn't. Was it shocking, folks? So, it wasn't about merit. It was all a DEI hire or something.
But was aided by Lord Ali's well-placed connections and financial backing. These shadowy links, if substantiated, could explain why Starmer has been so reluctant to fully disclose the nature of their association. Others within the party have hinted at quid pro quo arrangements, exchanges of political leverage for personal or institutional gain, the kind of dealings that would call into question the independence of Labour's leadership.
It's about Lord Ali enough. There's something weird going on, right? Like, I don't know, I know you know the guy and you say he's a really nice geezer, okay? So I'm sure he's a nice geezer. Just because you're donating to the Labour Party, it doesn't make you the devil incarnate. But normally, in a political situation like this, when all of a sudden it's exposed that somebody is not just giving donations to run campaigns, but buying clothes for the wife, offering holiday homes, having their apartment used.
That is called a bribe, folks. I don't know what to say. I don't think it's called extortion, but seriously, in exchange, I wonder what did they exchange? What did Keir Starmer and Lord Ali? There has to be something.
In recent months, whispers have grown louder that certain controversial policy pivots, from foreign affairs to community funding, carry the invisible signature of Lord Ali's influence. If true, these decisions may not have been purely in the public interest, but rather shaped by private agreements benefiting a select few. The implications of such a dynamic are staggering. It paints a picture of a would-be Prime Minister whose judgment may be compromised, whose decision-making could be entangled with powerful backroom players operating far from public scrutiny. For many, this raises the most chilling question of all. If Lord Ali does indeed wield such influence, what promises or obligations might already be dictating the direction of Starmer's political path? As these revelations continue to drip out, the potential fallout for Starmer's political future looks nothing short of devastating. The Labour Party, already struggling to rebuild after years of defeat, now faces the grim reality of being led by someone whose credibility is crumbling fast.
Wow, for the first time, Labour Party is now seeing the truth. First off, again, to all the British people and to my viewers from the UK, we had to keep up the pressure. Congratulations, you're doing the good job. Standing up against tyranny is not an easy task. Keep up the pressure. Sooner or later, he will be forced. Keir Starmer will be forced to accept the harsh reality, because right now there's more to come. So again, like I said, if I cannot cover any sort of updates or anything that is connected to this, be sure to visit my 4th channel. Link will be in the description. This guy is really 750% cooked. If I had to make a guess, which I'll check again. So in this case, Nigel Farage, I think he might be a good candidate for his replacement, but I don't think people will vote for him unless, of course, if the election results on the UK Prime Minister election is rigged. Also, King Charles sees this. If King Charles is fully aware of this, Keir Starmer's career is down the drain permanently.
Well done, Griffin. Now we got this airfield secured, we can get a foothold on this island and start pushing the Japanese back. We're through retreating, lad. America's back in this war.
Leave a like and subscribe if you want gaming news, gaming theories, or you just want to see me play games. Visit my 1st, 3rd, and 4th channel up here or link in the description.